Here come those little monsters crawling up my leg.
Alright, so this is going to be 10 things you learn by being an addict. But before I go any further, I just got to mention this. I have a rule when I upload on YouTube. I have like 10 channels that when I upload, I don't check the views like the next day. I have this philosophy that you should only check the views when you're uploading your next video, because if you didn't get any good ones on the last one, you can at least say, well, this one will get good. But I did wake up today with 4 subscribers, but kind of a bunch of views. Very happy. So subscribe to this channel, because I am going balls out with this channel, mainly because the videos I can make quickly. Usually when I make these top 10 videos, it involves me on my phone. I drink coffee, I pace around, and I'll just write really fast. Weird talent I have is the ability to write really fast. And also, I hope talking about this style of content doesn't like black flag my channel or whatever they call it, because we all know YouTube, modern day, you're not allowed to talk about certain things. But I would say that talking about drugs and addiction is good because it's healing for the addict's soul. We've all watched Suboxone withdrawal videos, stuff like that. So I hope my channel doesn't get blacklisted. Let's get into it. 10 things I learned being an addict that will be relatable if you are one. Number 10, first thing you learn is that you always gotta wait.
First thing you learn is that you always gotta wait.
I think Lou Reed said that in his song, and what a profound statement. Because people talk about how you spend 10 years of your life in a car commuting to work. If you are an addict, you spend about 10 years waiting. And the worst part is when you're waiting, you can't do anything. You can't focus. You can't work. You basically just got to watch Netflix and get text from your dude who's always, he's in a perpetual, stuck in a perpetual state of being 10 minutes away. Lately, I've been theorizing why this is. Like, why is it every plug ever in existence will start off good? You meet them, they meet you right away, they're cool, because it's a business. And then after like a month, they're like, all right, I'm on my way. But they're not on their way. I've waited 10 hours. I've waited 3 days. 3 days I've waited, which means I wasted 72 hours waiting. And when you hear that, you know, you can put a special text alert for your guy. Once you hear that noise, it's ripping and running immediately. But if you've ever seen somebody that you suspect is an addict and they keep looking at their phone and they just keep going, oh, they're most likely waiting for drugs because some piece of shit is like torturing them. I swear, once these people become plugs, I'm trying to use like code words, I think they get like a false sense of authority. They feel powerful in their life. So I really think they enjoy making you suffer. Number 9, the universe doesn't care that you don't have money or drugs, so you have to go to work in withdrawal. I remember when I lived in New York, I worked like a security job at the downtown, and I'd wake up, I'd have no money, my connect wouldn't text me back because he wouldn't do credit anymore, and being like, wow, I'm about to experience a tremendous amount of pain. I'm already sweating, I feel restless, I didn't sleep. You never sleep, by the way. And then I had to go on the subway and go to my job. You would think that doing hard labor or maybe like being a cashier would be bad to do in withdrawal. But I actually would prefer that because it keeps you busy. What I used to have to do, when I worked security, I'd have to stand next to an elevator for 12 hours. Imagine that. Imagine being in the illest sickness of your life. You're sweating. Everything smells bad. All you feel is despair. And then you have to just stand there and watch people. It was torture. It was torture. People are always arguing about what is the worst part of being an addict. And the number one thing they always say is when you run out of drugs, which is true. And here's one little quick side note. I do a podcast with this like 78-year-old guy, and his philosophy on drug addicts is like, oh, they're always having fun, they're high, and they're happy. Yeah, right. No. In all actuality, we basically feel good for 30 minutes a week, or maybe a day, and the rest is just misery, shame, restless sleeplessness. We are not happy. We are not cheating our way through life. In fact, I think that somebody who has been an addict has experienced more pain than an Ethiopian child with a big stomach. It's not an easy life. It's not a fun life. It's not cheating through life. Most of the time, you have a job, or you don't, and you have to wake up, you realize you have nothing, and then you got to go into work, and it's hell. That's a good way to describe it. Number 8, you never have any money, and the thought of buying groceries and hygiene products and PlayStation 5s is almost absurd. When addicts go into like Walmart, they have that. It's like that scene in Goodfellas where Robert De Niro is like, don't buy anything. Don't buy anything.
Listen, I have to go buy anything for a while.
Basically, there's all these things in life that other people have, like a little lawnmower. I don't know what people buy, but addicts don't buy none of that. Their whole paycheck is like, okay, 90% of this is going to go to pills. The rest, I guess, gas. You're always desperately hitting people up for money, which is the most shameful thing to do. I remember one time when I was living in New York, I tend to have sober friends. I like to keep sober friends in my life. Therefore, I lie about what I'm doing. Anyway, I was like, I need money. So I texted her. I said, listen, I'm stuck in Manhattan. I got to get this money to get on a bus, blah, blah, blah. I made up some BS. And I got her to Western Union me like $60. She had to download the app. And that is the last resort, is asking friends and family for money. You never want to do it. People always wonder why you're broke. It's like the most honest giveaway, to be honest. One time I got like a $350 wage slave paycheck. And I knew a guy who could get, God, how do I tiptoe around censorship here? 30 milligram, opiate pills. And I had to buy him 2, which was like $70. And I got like 3 for myself. And I remember I spent $270 for a 40-minute high. And I was like, yep, that's typical. That's how you live. You never have any money, and therefore you're stuck. You are stuck in life. That is, to me, that is the worst part. You can't get a career. You can't go to school. You can't buy nice things. And if you do buy nice things, you pawn them. I finally just got my guitar out of pawn, and for like 2 months, I had to play a little piece of shit blue children's guitar. Number 7, cops will never not be terrifying, even when you get sober. So I remember like 10 years ago, the cop cars in my town were like Crown Vics, which are kind of scary looking, but they didn't strike fear in your heart. Nowadays, the way they design cop cars is intensely subliminal and terrifying. They look like sharks, and when you see one, you just get that fear because you've been pulled over 200 times. The moment I got my driver's license, when I was 16, I had 2 arrests in a month. And then the next 3 years, I swear, and I'm not, people think I'm bragging when I say this, like I'm some big cool drug lord who the cops are after me. But no joke, I was pulled over like 50 times and they would bring the canine out every time. It caused me to be so intensely paranoid, and the only way I got away with it all the time is because I'm smart. I never let people come into my car. I would search people's pockets. If somebody got in my car with a guitar case, I'd be like, open that up. Let's see. And people would call me a bring down, but I'm like, dude, all cops have to do is bust you for a brake light, or you're going 5 miles over the speed limit. They pull you over. They see that you're a nervous young white dude, and they go, sir, I need you to step out of the car. And by the way, telling them you can't search my car doesn't work. None of it works. I actually posted, there's a subreddit, it's called Ask Leo. It's Ask Law Enforcement Officers. And I said, genuinely, I wrote, what is stopping you cops from lying about the dog, the canine dog, picking up a scent therefore allowing them to search your car. What's stopping you from lying? And they were all like, oh, well, I'm not going to throw my career away for like a little bust, a weed bust. And I'm like, dude, every time I got pulled over, they got the canine out, which is basically a ticket for them to search your car and arrest you. Because I don't believe that they're honest people who are like, oh, the dog didn't smell anything. So they search your car every time, and you get used to it. And I don't think the fear ever goes away. I eventually learned to calm myself down, 2 hands on the steering wheel, relaxed. And what you got to do, a little side note, when a cop pulls up, you got to act a little nervous, but not too nervous. Just say, look over and go, oh, hi, officer, yeah. And then he'll probably bring up that you were speeding or have a brake light out. This is what you do. You look at the cop and you go, officer, if I do get a speeding ticket, is it going to affect the numbers on my license? Like, will I get more points making my insurance go up? The cop will always go, yes. And then you go like this. You go, oh, because that makes it look like your biggest fear at that moment is getting points and insurance going up. But in reality, you have like 30 pills in a little bag in your butt cheeks. That's another thing. Hide everything in your butt cheeks. It's not gay. Everybody says it's gay that I do that. But like, come on, dude. It's kept me out of jail. All of my friends, what happened with them is they got arrested. They got put on probation, which I would totally deny. I would take 60 days in county over probation because probation is designed for you to fail because you're going to piss dirty. So me being smart and doing the old butt cheek maneuver has kept me out of jail and then eventually prison. Cops are terrifying, and they will never not be terrifying because their cars look like sharks. All right, what number am I on? Number 6, all of your friends become only addicts. I remember I was like 20 years old. I still had like a 3G dumb phone. And I had this really dark, like profound thought one night. I was sitting in my room. I was just starting to get into all the bad stuff. And I looked at my phone, and you know, your text messages, it's kind of like a feed of who's in your life. All it was like, hey, you need? Hey, you try and grab? Hey, I got this. Hey, you looking? And I realized that my phone was just like a drug shopping scrolling feed sort of thing. But here's the thing, addicts are not bad people, but they do scummy things to get money. I have been ripped off so many times. I've had close friends sell me crushed up Smarties. And it's like, dude, I don't want to be around these people. That's why I always kept sober friends in my life, and I just lied to them about me being not sober or whatever. Because the chances are, if you're in a car with 3 of your homies, and they all look kind of pale and gaunty, they got the Popeye look, you're going to get arrested constantly. You can't trust your friends. You don't know what they're carrying. They're going to drop stuff in your car. That's what they do. So all of your friends become addicts, which sucks because they're constantly dying and cheating you. Number 5, getting clean is months of desperation, no sleep, and awful self-reflection. So basically, anytime you decide to get stone cold sober, you better expect that there's going to be about a month of no sleeping, 90 days. It's like in Trainspotting, the scene where they're like sipping the milkshake. He says, everything is boring. I hate myself. I want to kill myself. You don't feel emotions anymore. It's extremely hard. And if you're an addict for 10 plus years, you're going to do that a lot. And that is probably the worst part. You're not going to get sleep. And all you're going to think about is drugs. And it's so easy to just, somebody hits you up, the wheels start spinning in your mind, and you can't stop an addict from going out and grabbing because he's already made up his mind. You will jump through loopholes, convincing yourself over and over again, okay, I'll just do it one more time. Oh, and rehab sucks. Like, I hated every rehab I went to because think about it. You're surrounded by addicts who are all clean all of a sudden. They're miserable, they're pissed off, they're cagey, they all have diarrhea, and you got to share rooms. I went to this rehab once, and the walls were covered in mold. They let us smoke, but basically I was paying all this money to go to 3 meetings a day and to eat like scrambled eggs that come in like a big brick with holes in them. Disgusting. That's it. Oh man, it's horrible, and everybody knows this, but it's unfortunately one of the consequences of always being high. Number 4, once you turn 30, the negative consequences start physically manifesting themselves. Everybody knows that when you're a young buck, 17, 20, 25, you feel invincible, you feel like you can't get hurt. You don't realize all the damage you're doing to your liver and kidneys. Let me tell you what, I'm having all sorts of health problems. I don't know if it's liver or kidney. My foot swells up. It's actually not that swollen right now. And I'm pretty sure it's because of my stupid actions I did in my 20s. I have to get up and piss in the middle of the night, and it's only a little trickle of piss. And my brain. I feel like I'm not a really smart person, but I'm an analytical, philosophical person. So I have that endless curiosity in my mind, but it is completely obliterated by all the damage I've done to my brain. The air duster, the smoking, the 30 pills a day, everything. It's bad for your brain. You basically lose short-term memory, and you feel stupid, especially when you're getting a job and you're in the training period. You're like, trying to remember stuff. I'm pretty sure had I not done what I did, I'd be a pretty smart, well-to-do person, but my brain is permanently kind of messed up, and honestly, I don't really mind. It's kind of fun. Like, I always describe it like this. Addicts they're like goldfish, and a lot of people, when you think about drug addicts, you think, oh, that's so sad and they're so miserable. But in a way, addicts are constantly going through cycles of rebirth. Every day you wake up, you go, oh, I have that thing I could get that will make me happy. You do that for 3 days, you binge, and then you got to get sober, and then you reflect and go start doing the steps. So addicts are constantly in like a circle of rebirth, and I think it keeps them young at heart. Every addict I know is a true optimist, so there are some upsides to it. Number 3, drugs become all you care about. It's actually sort of romantic, and I'm not the type of person that wants to blame movies, but every movie like Requiem for a Dream, Basketball Diaries, Trainspotting, like in Basketball Diaries, when Leo does the H, they show him running through a field, and he's like, oh yeah, flowers, yeah. It's like it's over romanticized, and pretty much once you're an addict, that's all you care. It's really all you care about. That's why you constantly see people in child support, custody battles. They don't have any money. They're always homeless. It's because once you become an addict, that is your number one priority. It beats everything. I don't know how many plans I had to cancel, how many weddings I missed, how many funerals I missed, because on that particular day, I was waiting for the man. All right, I'm going to make that a quick one. I have 2 left. Number 2, everyone starts dying around you. So I'm old enough to remember the beginning of the opiate epidemic. I think it was like 2009-ish when it started. I was right there at the beginning, but thankfully I never sold anything. I never dealt or sold. So I was always just kind of a personal addict, like a loner addict. I'd go get my stuff, come home, do it with my girlfriend. But one by one, every peer and every kid from my high school started dropping like flies, to the point where I have lost count of how many have died. In my town alone, it's got to be over 30. It's over 30 people died. And one time, get this, I don't even know if I should say this on video, I ripped some kid off. Some kid who was like dating this girl that I was sort of dating. I ripped him off because he sold me coke it was horrible. Like, I bought a little bit, did it, barely felt anything. So I said, all right, I'll go get the rest. I said I'll give him $90, but I gave him like $7 and drove off, and he was really angry. I got home, I put it on the table. It was literally like this much. And I just went, I did all of it, nothing. It did nothing. So I ripped this kid off. He wouldn't leave me alone. So finally I got a job, and I made like $500, like doing like home improvement or whatever. And I texted him. I said, hey man, let's resolve this. Let me give you your money. So he came and met me. And he was outside of my house in a car. And I had to give him $90. And he said, hey, do you have a stick? Because I'm looking for one, and I'll give you some. And we're talking about H. I said, nah, man, I don't do that anymore. And it's true. I stopped doing that in like 2016. And I gave him the money, and he died the next day. So I don't know. Should I feel like guilty about that? Did I cause that? I don't think so. Like, he needed the money. I gave it to him. But during that time, like 2014 to 2018, I swear it was just a slew of deaths of people you never would suspect would have been into that particular drug. Jocks, preppy kids, pretty girls, and then they started charging people who sold it to them. So everybody started going to prison, which I disagree with. They should not put you in prison for selling someone something that overdosed them. It's called personal responsibility. People started going to prison, and I think that kind of fixed the opiate epidemic to some degree. But apparently it's making a comeback with this Fetty stuff. I don't want to say the word fent, but a little side note. Stay away from that. Stay away from Fetty Wap, the thing that's in every drug now. It's horrible. I've had a few relapses. Like, for 3-day periods, I would relapse. And all I remember was dumping it out, doing a little speck of it, ODing, throwing up, and just sleeping. I was paying to sleep. This Fetty stuff is so dangerous, and it's not even good. It's not good. It's just horrible. Do you want to throw up for 3 days? One time I threw up for so many days in a row that I lost my singing voice for a month, which freaked me out. I thought I permanently lost my singing voice, and I'm a musician, so that's like everything to me. So stay away from that. Number one, some people are going to disagree with this. AA or NA is often your only way out. I know a lot of people, not a lot, maybe a few people that just got sober off their own accord. But I've said this in my other video on my main channel, 9-Part Harmony, go check that out. I said this in a video. Yes, NA and AA is a cult. It technically is a cult. It's basically like a military boot camp. You're surrounded by people who are like you. You have to do the steps. You have to work. You have to get a sponsor. It is technically brainwashing you to live a good life. And it's really inspirational because you go in there, you're sitting down, and some people are like, I've been clean for 14 years because of this program. So I'm totally pro NA, AA, and I can see why it's the only way out. Because your brain, it's basically in my DNA at this point, that when I wake up, my first thought is, what am I going to get today? Going to NA and AA kind of unbrainwashes you. It unaddicts you. But you're in recovery for the rest of your life, so nobody's clean. If you want to watch somebody who really knows a lot about this stuff, and you are, so I'm like a small YouTuber shouting out a famous dude, but watch Steve-O's podcast. That dude 100% committed to the program and is a total success story. And by watching his podcast, you can tell he knows his stuff. He has read the big book. So if anybody out there is addicted to something, I highly recommend just bite the bullet. Go to NA. Go to AA, because I don't go to NA because I don't want to meet connects and plugs. Like, imagine you go into NA, you're sober for a week, you're surrounded by people that keep relapsing, you get their phone number. It feels like that's just an easy way to just get a bunch of dealers. So when you go to AA, it's a bunch of older men, usually older men and women, and a lot of young drug addicts go to AA because they want to be surrounded by boomer alcoholics that have gotten clean. It's essentially the same thing, same message, same rules, same book almost. So there we are. There is another top 10 video. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I'm going all out with this one. I'm gonna start making videos Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And the great thing about this channel is I can make these videos really quick, because my other main channel, 9-Part Harmony, takes like 100 hours to edit a video, and I am so, what's that term? Brain dead or whatever, or beat. I'm beat. It's really hard to edit. So with these videos, I can literally, I can write like really fast. Boom, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So subscribe to this channel. Come with me on this journey. I got 4 subscribers. I'm pretty happy about that. And here's the thing. When you're a YouTuber, you only get that feeling like once or twice. Like, oh wow, I got my first 10 subscribers. Oh my God, my video got 1,000 views. Eventually that probably wears off. I don't know personally, because I'm always making channels, working on them for 6 months and then giving up. So this channel is my dump channel, where I can dump my music, quick rant videos, tell stories, no editing really. So thanks for watching.